is what he do all the time, making this stuff up. Why are you making this stuff up, Will? The lady is right here. She said that it, that it ain't had no bed up here today. And so this is what he said he did all the time, making stuff up, fantasize, basically lying. In the book, he says making stuff up, fantasy or whatever. But Will, you were lying. That's what it's called, lying, lying. Until somebody believed you. No, you were lying. That's what you were doing, lying. Now, on the flip side of that is because he said he did this, as a kid, as kids are, they use their imagination, and it's very good for them to use their imagination. It's very good for them to be creative and to think of different things, different scenarios, right? It helps them kind of process life experiences and think, what could happen, what possibilities are out there, right? But he said that he did this way longer than the average kid, like up until an adult. Like he said, he and his mom would still like play this game. This not a game. These are lies. So it was to the point where his mom would have to pull him face to face with her, and her looking at him like, now Will, look at mama now. Now this is what I'm imagining, y'all. This how this how I be with my son. Come here. Come here real quick. Put his head right here. Put his forehead to your forehead. Now, Will. Now maybe this is his black pants too. Will, look at mama. Look at mama. Stop lying to these people. You hear me? You know doggone well there wasn't no jazz band up here. Quit telling people that. Do you understand? That's what the mama had to do. Because he would be lying all the time, telling people this is what happened. This is what and the people would be like, that's not what happened. He even said, as an adult, he still tells these stories to his friends and all of this. Now, mind you, this probably, of course, I mean, I can see it. This trait of his has helped him become a great actor, right? Because he can come up with all these great stories and all these fantasies and things that are not reality, right? And it could come alive in film, right? But he said that he tells these fantasies and stories to his friends and stuff, and they'll look at Jada and be like, okay, Jada, what really happened? Because Will, he's sitting up lying, and we ain't got time for that. What grown man sitting up lying to folks? Leave that at the Film Institute. Leave that at film school at the studios. We in the real world, Will. So he said that the people have to ask Jada, what really happened? Because he putting too much sauce on it. So then he said, so wait a minute. So he said something else in here. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think. Like this is something else. So he said, as a child, I would disappear into my imagination. I could daydream endlessly. There was nothing more entertaining to me than my fantasy worlds. Right? So also on the flip side is that this was a coping mechanism for him, obviously because of the abuse that he witnessed from the dad, or that the dad could have been hitting on him too. Like I said, I didn't read the whole book, but if he at any time maybe tried to step in to help his mom or whatever it might be, the dad, I don't know he could have been abusing him too. So him living in a fantasy world is kind of his escape, right? His coping mechanism of the trauma that he was experiencing and going through, right? Just like Chris, his escape was comedy, like making people laugh. Like most comedians, people say, "Oh, okay, if I can make them laugh, like if I tell a joke, if I tell a joke about myself, then they're gonna leave me alone," right? It's like a coping mechanism, right? Um, so he also said, this was interesting too. And y'all, these are just my opinions. Like I be analyzing stuff and I just be thinking certain things like other people, of course, will probably have different opinion or whatever. But I probably read into stuff too much. Well, I be like, but why they say that? Anywho, so he said that math was his favorite subject or is his favorite subject. He loves numbers. Why? He said because numbers don't play games or have moods or opinions. Think about that. He loves numbers and math because numbers don't play games or have moods or opinions. And so when you couple that with him in this fantasy world and him explaining or telling these stories, right? Again, like I said before, it's like, it seem like he want all the attention on him? Like he wants all the attention and he don't want nobody to say nothing about what he's saying or doing. Like you shouldn't have an opinion. It's almost like arrogance. Like I said, like you shouldn't have an opinion about what I'm saying or doing. Like everything that I'm doing is right. Everything he doing is right in his mind, and you shouldn't have anything to say about it. Now, to me, that thought process is sometimes, and it don't. I'm not saying that it is, but if you think about an abuser, the arrogance that they have, for example, if they strike somebody or, whatever, it's like, don't question me. It's like the same idea in my mind. Like, don't question what I'm doing. You shouldn't have an opinion. You shouldn't feel a certain way about what I'm doing. What I'm doing is what I'm doing. And I told you what I'm doing is right. Like he told his mom, no, it was a jazz band there. What you mean? Because I told you it was one there, go with it. Like, go down the road with me. And the mama like, no. So it's like if anybody mess with that or tries to cross that line, I feel like Will could get like angry. What y'all think? I feel like he got a little anger side on him. I mean, we can tell that by him going up there and hitting the man, but he been holding that in all this time. I don't believe it. How old is Will? I'm about to look it up. How old is Will, y'all? How old is Will? Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Will, you got me thinking. You got me thinking now. Let me see. Will is 53 years old. You mean to tell me, because I don't know when his birthday is, and I ain't gonna look all that up, but you mean to tell me up until Oscar night, you had that anger under control? I don't think so. I feel like in his book, maybe he might have said something about how he deal with that. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe he had some instances where he became angry. I feel like I heard that or read that or something. I don't know. But yeah. This is interesting. So like I said, right? That was his coping mechanism was escaping by having this fantasy, and trying to get out of what was really happening, right? And he said that he would do it endlessly. He would, and it, I mean, it worked out for him because he's a great actor.